Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Father. We are back. I know it's been a little bit of a distance between the last two episodes. This is life. Life is crazy. We have, of course, sports and more sports and basketball, soccer, golf, and all the school stuff and everything like that. But we are back. We are here, and I couldn't be more excited to have just a wonderful dad with me, Joseph Wright. We played basketball a long time ago. He's still playing. I'm retired because my knees and my belly probably. But yeah, no, we've golly, how it's like early 2000s, right? We were balling out at that Sandia church.
Yeah, I would say probably about 2004, 2005.
Yeah, it was, and there was the Sandia church gym there off of Louisiana and like Claremont.
Yeah.
The little small gym. The floor was pretty nice. We give it to them for what they had.
Yeah, it was okay. It was definitely fun times.
And we used to, we used to jump out of the gym those days. You probably still do. You probably still got the balance.
I'm starting to feel the knees a little bit.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad. I hope you don't feel it a lot of it because you can see the scars. I got surgeries on my knees and it's not fun at all. But yeah, we used to ball back in the day, and of course we just haven't like really been like hanging out, but we just keep in touch via social media. And it seems like you dropped your good genes of the basketball genes to your girls there. So yeah, that's what we're here for. We talk about you being a girl dad. When was the moment that you felt like, hey, I want to be a dad?
When I was a kid, I always wanted to have kids for sure. Growing up with my younger cousins, I was always the oldest cousin. So growing up, I really attached to my younger cousins and took care of them, and then I just always wanted to be a dad for sure.
That's good. And were you wanting like, hey, we know you have two girls, like I want a boy, because especially like us athletic dudes were like, well, ex-athletic dude for me. But us athletic guys are like, oh, I want a boys and be point guard ones, this and that. Was that kind of your mindset, or you just like, I just want babies?
It was definitely my mindset. I definitely wanted a boy for that reason.
Yeah.
When I had my first girl, I was like, well, my next one will be a boy. And then when I had my second girl, I was kind of got in trouble.
Yeah.
Because I was a little upset the second time when it was a girl again. But it was definitely a blessing. Having the girls, my mindset didn't change. Obviously, both my girls excel in soccer and basketball.
Yeah.
So I didn't treat them any differently.
Yeah, fair. Well, and that's the good thing. I had the same thing. I'm a oldest brother, and I have a little sister, then brother, sister, and then Ruby has an older brother. So like, oh, it's gonna be boy, girl. Like this is like kind of our setup.
Yeah.
So we had Camden, like second one's a girl. We didn't have a boy name. We had like, she was buying dresses, which that was the big mistake right there. You can't buy a dress before you know the gender.
Yeah.
You're gonna jinx the crap out of it. And we found out it was a boy, and I remember like, would you like to know the sex? And we're like, yeah, sure. And then we see it scan over, and like, oh, that's a penis. Before she even said anything.
Yeah.
And like we kind of like got deflated. We're just like, oh, damn, like,
Yeah.
I want a little girl. Like, what do you mean? Like, we already have a boy. Like, and so I was sitting there like, oh man. And then we're driving, like, hey, we got another boy. Like it was that whole like, all right, it's still a baby. It's hopeful, pray that he's healthy, etc. And then go from there. So when you had your first daughter, how was that like dynamic? You said that of course, you had your younger cousins and stuff like that. You were hanging out, but was it like a different switch where it came to, oh, wait, this is mine? Like, I can't like, oh, see you later. Have a good one. Like, how was that to you? And how old were you when you had your first baby?
I was 21.
Okay.
When I first had my first daughter. It was definitely a switch. We're still young.
Yeah.
Having fun. So having her is definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
It was in the right direction. At that time, I was still working hard. I was working 2 jobs and whatever to get by.
Exactly.
But having her definitely motivated me to be more successful.
And that's a huge thing. And I see your success, and I attest that to it. Does having a girl, again, I have boys, I have no clue. Does it soften you? Does it feel like, you're sure you're still yourself, but around her, I see like my brother, he just had a baby girl, and he's this like tough, rough, whatever. And now he's like this little soft dude. And sure, she's still a baby, so I get that like baby moment, but did it soften you at all? Or not like in a bad sense, but like, okay, like I got this baby girl, this princess, I gotta like come to her at her level type of thing? Or
I don't know. I wouldn't say it really softened me. Like I said, I always had a soft heart anyway. So yeah, my younger cousins, like always loved holding the babies, and just kind of how
You were brother for it.
yeah. So I wouldn't really say it softened
Okay.
me, but
Okay.
yeah.
And so when was she interested? Because of course I know you're in sports. When were you like, or like, oh, it's soccer. She's 5. Let's put them in soccer. When did you see it true? Like, okay, she is a sports scout. Like this, she has at least the understanding of learning. She's picking up. She has the skills with her right foot, left foot, right hand, left hand. When did you start seeing that with her?
So with my oldest daughter, we actually put her in little kickers.
Okay, yeah.
At 18 months.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So kind of at that point, you could just tell. I mean, all they did was kick a ball in the cones and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But you could tell she was a little more interested in focus on the stuff that they were asking her to do.
Yeah.
I think her first soccer league was around 4 or 5.
Okay.
And she just went out there, and I mean, a lot of kids are running around, not worried about
Looking at butterflies,
looking at butterflies, seeing what their parents are doing, whatever, running off the field. And she was always just focused on scoring goals and
yeah,
doing whatever she could. So,
and I had the same thing with Camden. We put him in. I think he was like a little YMCA, like little kicker, like little camp thing when he was around 2 years old, and he was just like focused. Like he was so focused, and all these other again, they were like doing this, and I said, "Hey, kick with the inside of your foot, outside of your foot," and he picked it up right away. No toe punches, no nothing. And even the little coach was like, "Wow." She played at El Dorado. This is years ago, of course, but she was like she's like, I could play at El Dorado and I'm helping YMCA type of thing. And she was like, wow, this little guy has like a knack for it. Like he picking it up quick. He's understanding. He's not just there like, kick. Can I get a popsicle? He was like, I want to get better. I want to get better. And that's what it seems like she was doing the same thing at a young age.
yeah, I mean, you could tell most of the time. You could tell the athletes out there just by how it is. I mean, it's 4-year-old soccer, but you could tell the one too has the mentality of it.
Well, and that's the big thing. Like as parents, especially parents that want to put their kids in sports, or parents who have their kids in sports, you know, probably pretty early on, like if this is it for them or not. So, like, not all kids are built for it. Not all kids are even wanting to do it. They're just, I mean, there's a lot of kids like on the soccer teams that I coach. They're just like, get out there and play, and we'll teach them. We're still going to coach them. We're not going to give them any special treatment. Like, okay, we're going to expect you to excel as the top players are because we want to get you to that level.
Yeah, for sure.
But you can just see they're like, nah, I'm good. And they're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And even at a young age, you could kind of see that. Because how far apart are they, your girls?
4 years.
4 years, okay.
Yeah. Well, 4.5 or whatever.
Yeah. So there's how was that dynamic when and I always see like little girls, and even boys to an extent, they have that mother instinct that kind of pops in, like, oh, there's a baby girl. Was she like that second mom to her little sister?
Yeah, for sure. So when we had our second one, my oldest was just getting out of the car seat. So, yeah, she was just getting a lot more independent. Then we had the second one, and so it was a lot more work, and she definitely stepped up.
That's good.
Helped her get out of the car seat, helped her get in the car seat, do the little things that she do, and definitely had the motherly instinct.
That's good.
So it was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's I remember when because Camden and Max are just about 3 years apart.
Yeah.
And Camden was like getting out of pull-ups, and it was maybe like a 2-month like crossover of like diapers and pull-ups. And when he got out of pull-ups, like, thank God, I don't have to like deal with 2 of these. And I always like people who have back-to-back babies, like, you got all those diapers.
Yeah.
That diaper genie is working overtime. Like, Jesus Christ, like that's rough. But she and at 4, she was already like playing soccer and stuff like that. So when your youngest started getting to age, was she about 18 months when you threw her in the little kickers? Or
actually, with her, we didn't put her in little kickers that early. She probably just started soccer at 4.
Okay.
We were heavily involved in club basketball, soccer at that time.
Yeah.
So it was hard for the little one to get as much attention.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
So, but she was around it. Like, I think one of the biggest things that got them to loving sports was my wife. She plays soccer. She plays soccer, and I still play basketball. We play softball together. Yeah. So we're still heavily involved in sports.
Yeah.
Now, so I think them being around that definitely helped them fall in love with playing sports.
Well, and I was talking to other parents that, so we tell our kids when we were coaching soccer, like, go out there and kick the ball with them.
Yeah.
Like we can always say, do this or show them to do that, watch this YouTube video, whatever. But if we're not, you're not out there shooting the shots, kicking the ball, doing the things like that with your kids, they're going to lose interest faster than you think.
Yeah.
And as parents, that's kind of our job. Is we're not just, we don't just tell them what to do. We have to role model that. And having that sport athletic background with you and your wife shows that, okay, hey, I want to be like mom. I want to be like dad. I want to be like this, like that. And that's pretty important.
And I think that's an excellent point is, like both my girls played club soccer and club basketball growing up, and they both, towards the end, decided to go basketball route. And I think a lot of it has to do with being out there.
Exactly.
I've coached both of them since they were 6, 7, probably.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it has to do with that time spending with your parents on the court or practicing or whatever it is. So I think it's, as a young father, it's a good way to build that relationship with your kids and be able to get them to fall in love with the game.
Well, you have sports. I always say, put your kids in sports. I don't care if you don't have an athletic bone in your body, or there's so many people like, oh, sports or this, sports or that. I'm like, that might be your upbringing, but that's probably not your kids.
Right.
But even if your kid, again, doesn't excel in sports, learning, I think sports is probably the easiest way, best way to show life lessons.
Yes.
You have teamwork. You have how to lose, how to win properly, how to play the game, how to utilize everyone or every aspect of the field or the court.
For sure.
And I tell all my friends, put them in multiple sports. You put them in multiple sports just because you are giving them either ideas of, I want to go this way or that way, or the muscle memory, the muscle buildup. Playing one sport, there's a lot of statistics. If you stick to one sport, you're more likely to get injured.
Yes, for sure.
But if you're playing different sports, your core is different because your movement's different in soccer than it is in baseball. Your movement different from baseball to basketball and vice versa, right? And so that's something that I always tell, put your kids in sports, for the understanding of how teams work, understanding how listening to instruction. And it's tough, as you know, you're a coach to your own kid, because you coach everyone the same, but then your kid's a little bit, you expect a little bit more out of them. Sure. So you're a little bit tougher on them. And I think that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think they understand that. But get involved. Like it's that easy. Volunteer. You don't even have to be a coach. Just like, hey, I'm going to go to the practice, and if you need me, like or in our practices, I think like 6 of the dads and some of the moms were like, hey, where do you want us? I could do this drill, do that drill, and they like set up goals, just things like that. And the kids get like, oh, my mom's a part of it, my dad's a part of it, and that gives them more, I think, more motivation to like, oh, I want to excel at this, or at least attempt to, or play well for my teammates, and then go from there.
And I also believe like getting into sports, just like you said, if they don't have an athletic bone in your body, there's different levels to the sport.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't have to have them in the most competitive league or whatever.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of parents have to be realistic about where their kids at, because they try to put them in the top league or whatever, and it's not fun for them when they can't compete.
No, or they sit on the bench the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So, but sports is definitely a huge thing, and I think one of the reasons New Mexico is so far behind is because we don't have elementary sports.
Yeah.
Especially in like girls basketball, a lot of girls don't start basketball till middle school. And they're like, oh, hey, I like this, and they want to go play. But then you have the club girls that have been playing since they were 5 or 6, and they're so far behind.
Well, and it's that transition part of the biology of boys and girls who are getting into middle school. Their body, they're getting tall, getting long, and they have no clue how do I, and they look like baby giraffes out there, just kind of flopping around. And you're like, oh, that girl's tall, man. She's going to be doing good. And you see her trying to run, and poor thing is like clunking down the court because her body isn't used to that kind of pace or used to that kind of movement, because they started so late. And you're right. And I was talking to people like, sure, there's club sports, there's this, but a lot of people it's not accessible for a lot of people, for time, for money, for etc. But if you have, even if like John Baker, like they have a tiny little gym, if you have these little kids playing basketball, lower the courts for like the first graders and below, kindergarten, first grader, and then go up, because like Camden or Maxon's in 8th grade, or excuse me, he's 8 in 2nd grade, and he shoots at 10-foot courts. And they're like, oh, I wish it was lower. I'm like, no, you need to learn here. Your muscle memory now at 8 years old, shooting on a 10-foot rim is going to just continue to get better and better and better. And by the time you're in middle school, because Max is a little more advanced than Camden is. Camden is, and they're both great at soccer. Camden is like a soccer little phenom, and he plays basketball. But then Max is like, he's learning. Like, he's like, Dad, look at this. He crosses over, puts me on his back, comes back. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. And he, nice form. And I was like, see, you're learning this on a 10-foot rim.
Yeah.
You're kind of figuring out where your body's at, where the court's at, positioning on an actual rim. But that's at second grade.
Yeah.
If he started in like later, like Camden, he's going to be in middle school next year. Camden's kind of like, he's athletic and he's fast, but his depth perception for the big rims are like, oh shoot, like I don't know what's going on, because he's used to playing the little rims in his playground at his school type of thing. And so that's a huge thing. We have to start. There's a lot of talent in this state.
That's for sure.
A lot of talent, a lot of good players. There's a lot of good players that are on the reservation that people are missing. I mean, how many times did you ball with kids from the reservation going up in high school? They're like, this kid, why is he even playing college ball? Why is he even doing this? Why is he even doing that? And there's such a big, and that's a whole nother topic, but it's such a big description of how can our state of New Mexico really get known. And it's starting to, I mean, with the social media area, it's starting to pop up where you can send highlights, you can do this, you can do that, like Bella going to LSU and stuff like that. Like, that's pretty cool. But it's like, we have a lot of talent. We're a very talent-rich state, especially for basketball.
Yeah.
It's just, how do we kind of push it over that edge? But it's sadly, like you said, these kids are starting so late in the game that it's like, okay, they might have a peak or a ceiling a little too fast.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes you kind of lose interest if you're not competitive with other girls. You know what I mean? You go to middle school, like the biggest thing is, like, now I'm coaching at Sandia. I'm one of the assistants over there. So you see it a lot. You see a lot of girls, and I talk to them, and like, they're pretty good. I'm like, well, when did you start playing? Oh, I started in 6th grade for middle school. And it's like, so yeah, it's just hard when they start that late.
Exactly. And the other aspect, and a little kind of turn, parents. This is a PSA to you. Don't live vicariously through your kids.
Yeah,
you're in the stands, acting like your kid is the next thing, and it could be.
Yeah.
But have some decorum, man. Like, I've been in so many basketball games lately. We play in the YMCA league, so it's a recreational league. There's some talent. There's some good teams on this team, but it's not a club league. It's nothing like that. And you hear these parents just the stuff they're saying. I'm like, guys, come on. These are 10-year-olds. Like, relax. It's not that serious. So if you're a parent, a sports parent, be involved, be a part.
Exactly.
Shut your mouth when you're on the side. Like, cheer for them.
Yeah, just encourage
them. Because and as a coach, the worst thing is when you're coaching and you hear the dad screaming them to do something else. Do this, do that. I'm like, and you're like, stop.
And you're on the exact opposite.
And and so now they're getting pulled each way.
Yeah.
So that's a PSA for parents out there. Let the coaches coach. If you want to be a part of it, sign up, volunteer, go through the classes, whatever you need to do, and then do that. But let the coaches coach, and then, or just have a conversation with the coach, like, hey, my daughter's been working on this, my son's been working on that, and then kind of go from there. So go ahead.
And most of the time when you have that conversation, they'll let you know why they don't want that your kid doing that. You know what I mean, or whatever it is, or it's definitely an issue with sports fans here in New Mexico, and I don't think it's just New Mexico, right? We're all over, but it is getting pretty bad. And I feel bad for referees. I would never want to be a referee.
I would never ref.
You can't win.
No,
you can't win. No matter whoever wins or loses, you did bad.
You did bad. This one call changed the whole game, changed the dynamic of everything. That's just that's the sad reality of refereeing. And so in any sport, any age, I mean, the little kids playing soccer, like that's a for example, we were in a club soccer tournament the last tournament. Bernalillo, some guy's name, I forget, something, whatever his name was. The big tournament that goes from kids to adults. We're headed to the championship game. There's cops everywhere. We're like, what's going on here? And then these two coaches were talking to cops, and like, oh, what happened was two kids, U12, U13, kind of got bumped into each other. So you know how it is. They push. The coach runs out, separates the kids, but his kid on his team pushes it this way. His kid on the other team, he starts choking him out.
Oh, shoot.
And then, of course, what do you think? The parents it's like a big rumble, like big fight. So cops are everywhere. They arrest these coaches. I'm sitting there like, is it that serious, man? Like, goodness gracious. And it's sad. It wasn't like it was a coach that did that. Like, you're supposed to be the example. You're supposed to be above reproach when it comes to the noise, when it comes to all this other stuff. But it's like, we are doing our kids a disservice when we act like that as parents. And that's just my 2 cents. Thank God I'm able to say it because I've been wanting to say it for a long time. But
we got to be leaders. I mean,
exactly,
is they see what you do.
They don't listen to you. Yeah,
I see with my oldest daughter, she's resembles me a lot, and the good and the bad. You know what I mean? And you don't think about it when you're doing stuff, and you're just like, well, so like you got to be a leader, and you got to lead by example.
Do you see their dynamics? I know they're 4 years apart, and I saw that she played some high school minutes because she's in 8th grade.
Yeah, Mia's in 8th grade.
Okay,
so Audrey's a senior.
Yeah, so she was able to play with them. That was cool. Hit the three. I saw the video. That was awesome. Do you see that, like, Audrey, is she like that mentor with Mia? Like, okay, let's go shoot. Let's do 20 free throws or this and that. I mean, not to that extent, but do you see, like, okay, she's following her big sister's step, and her big sister's kind of like taking the lead. Like, hey, I'm gonna show you this, show you that.
Yeah, it's coming around to that. Since there's a pretty big age gap, Audrey always liked to work out kind of by herself.
Yeah.
Just because it was, but now it's starting to like not level out. Like obviously, Audrey's still a lot better than me is at this point. But it's starting to get where she's like that, where she's like, let's go do this, let's do that, and then really trying to show her because she's still in 8th grade. She's playing high school. So she's around high schoolers. So she's like really, you could really see her trying to lead her into being a high schooler.
Yeah.
Help her handle all that.
Exactly.
Stuff.
And she's going to be going to San Diego, clearly.
Yes.
And so that legacy will continue, the right legacy there. San Diego girls basketball. I mean, that's something that you see. And I mean, I remember seeing that clip, just a clip of the 3-point shot there. And with that, it's like you see that you guys are proud. You're involved. You love your girls, but you love seeing them excel in sports and everything. I mean, all your posts is like this accomplishment, this San Diego. Congratulations on the win state championship last year, like stuff like that. Let's do it again. It's back to back this year, and stuff like that. And it to me, that's why I wanted you on, because I mean, you're not just a good dad. You're not just a good coach. Like you're just a good man. And men, especially 2 girls, especially 2 daughters. I've had a lot of fathers on here. I'm like, we're 2 examples for our kids. We are the example of we have to be the dad. We have to be this. But for my boys, I'm an example on how when they get older, how they treat a woman, how they work through adversity, how everything else. And the same thing. And you have 2 folds of that. You're the example of being a dad, being a coach, being all this other stuff. But now you're the example of this is how a man treats you when you get to that age and to that point. And this is how you work through adversity and stuff like that. And I seen just from afar, of course, we've known each other from playing basketball many, which is crazy, over 20 years ago. But you see that, and I see that, okay, your girls are excelling. And kids are going to have my boys, they sit there, I'm like, well, Dad, you said that. I'm like, I guess I did. Whoops. And then they pick up those little cues from us. But then at the end of the day, it's like, I want to make sure the foundation's there. And I feel like the foundation for my kids are Gully's building, but I see it in your girls, and I see in how they're excelling in sports and how they're doing everything they're doing, and then going from there. So when it comes to after high school, is she thinking about playing college ball or anything like that?
Yeah, both my girls want to play college basketball for sure. Audrey's in the process of trying to determine exactly where she's going to go.
Okay.
She has a few offers.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you. She has a few offers. She's trying to figure out exactly where she wants to go. Hopefully make a decision pretty soon.
Yeah.
And Mia's goal is to
follow suit.
Exactly.
Wait, so is it, and you don't say the exact schools. Are they close by? Are they,
there's
spread out?
Yeah, most of them are pretty close.
Okay.
Probably furthest one, probably 7-8 hours away.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad.
Too bad.
That's not bad. Okay.
So, but
yeah, I am, I hope, of course, we all hope our kids play college, or we hope our kids go pro or whatever. Like that's the goal, right? You never want to set their expectations low. Like, hey, you aim small, miss small, reach for the moon. You might grab it, type of thing. I'm like, I don't know if like one kid goes, because they're pretty close. They're a couple years, 3 great years apart. And same with your girls, pretty close. If one goes here, one goes there, like, what do we do? Like, I want to be by my kids. Like, I know that sounds selfish as hell, but if they go, hey, I'm playing at Missouri Tech or whatever, like, I guess we're moving to Missouri, or I'm playing at Caltech Fullerton. Well, I guess we're going to California. Like, it's those little things that I'm just like, I want to make sure that involved as much as possible, like in their lives. Is that something that you guys had to come across? I know you still have Mia in high school,
Yeah.
and so you're still kind of stuck here. What is that thought process there?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel the same way, but I also feel like it's a good time to let them spread their wings
Yeah. Okay.
and get out,
Right.
get out there and see the real world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not have mom and dad there when they need something to just call right there. Like they have to learn real life and handle the stuff on their
I
own.
like that.
You know what I mean? We obviously hoping it's not too far away where we can make a quick trip and
Yeah.
watch
Exactly.
the games as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't think there would be a possibility of us following, especially not Audrey with Mia still being a high.
Yeah. Exactly.
Depending on what happened with Mia, where she went, I mean, maybe something we consider, but I would doubt it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. That makes sense. I mean, that's another lesson because as parents, we want to make not hover too much, but we want to like, okay, if they're okay, they're safe. But then you realize, okay, since she was 18 months, she started this sports journey.
Yeah.
And we've been there every step of the way, from long nights to good games to bad games to not feeling good to triumphs to whatever, right? Your peaks and valleys. And you probably set it up where she's like, she's good.
Yeah.
She's good. Wherever she goes, they're going to be lucky and damn well lucky to have her. And then go from there. Because I've seen the highlights and she could ball, man.
Yeah.
She's a baller.
She's pretty good.
She's a baller. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like shot form, everything, like everything. I was like, okay. And then we watched the game because you guys played El Dorado last year. What, quarters, finals in the state?
Yeah. Yeah.
We watched that first half because my friend, she coaches St. Pius.
Okay.
And they just played right before you guys.
Yeah.
And so my buddy Drew and I were sitting there watching the game, and we're like,
Yeah.
these girls could ball. And they have their sisters, the one that's going to Princeton.
She's actually going to BYU.
Oh, she's going to be okay. What's the BYU? Okay, nice.
BYU.
Nice.
Yeah, and then they have her little sister that's she's a freshman now. She's 8th grader last year. So there is pretty good.
So you're gonna have
We're gonna have the
Benali Wrights coming back up. Like, oh, you think we're done?
Yeah.
He thought we were done. Here we go. That's awesome. Because yeah, she's a baller, man.
Yeah, she's good.
She's really good. I was sitting there watching it. I was like, okay, like these little girls. Because of course you have Bella, right? Bella Hines from El Dorado, and she's a baller. She's a talker too.
Yeah.
She does her. And good for her. Like she got her stuff with Jordan, LSU, and stuff like that. But then that's when I saw that whole dynamic, the team dynamic versus the player dynamic.
Yeah.
And nothing against El Dorado, their coach, their team, nothing like that. But watching that was like, these girls could be intimidated or this and that because you got this like, probably Gatorade Player of the Year, got this top player that's going to an SEC school, et cetera, that won a national championship not too long ago, and everything else. And you're like, no, these girls are like, all right. And I think y'all rolled, right? Y'all?
Yeah, I think we beat them pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's definitely about the intimidation part of it or being scared or anything like that. All those girls grew up together. They've been playing together since they were little. So they've been playing Bella for so long. And she's a great player. It's just we had more of a team that you had, you know what I mean? She always did what she could and probably averaged 30 that season.
Yeah.
So she was doing what she could, but just we were a lot deeper as a team.
Yeah. And you saw that. You saw that. And I think that's the life lesson. It's like you could do it all by yourself if you want. And it's, again, not a shot to anyone else, but this is just a life lesson in general. Like that's why I say sports is so important. It's so important. You could do whatever you want. You could think you're the smartest in the room, the brightest in the room. But at the end of the day, if you don't got a team around you, if you got people rooting for you or helping you out, or you doing the same for someone else, you're not going to go far.
Yeah. Talking about like the life lessons, like in life, it's hard to do stuff by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you need a team. You need good people around you.
Exactly.
People you trust. It's kind of the same thing with us with Sandia. Is a lot of the girls on Sandia could go to another team and be the star on their team.
Yeah.
And they took the back seat, did whatever they had to do to win the championship.
Exactly.
And I think that's a big life lesson. Like you're going to go to a job and you may not be the main person, but you'll be an important part of the team.
Well, and that's I mean, with the climate that we've been in our world that's been shifting, and I'm not getting into politics or anything like that, but just the climate of the shift of like, all right, at the end of the day, no matter what they do up there, or over here, over there, we got to figure it out. Like,
exactly.
as a people, we got to figure it out. And we got to continue to live our day-to-day life and this and that. And if we isolate, or if we do this, or we feel like we're better than or above reproach without our support around us, and that's teammates from work, that's friends, that's family, that's everything. If you don't have that cohesiveness, then it's not going to end well. And that's a hard truth reality. And as fathers, we have to instill that. And like you said, hope, like, all right, you know what? I gave you all the tools I can give you, and I'm still here. If you need another tool, I'm still here.
For sure.
But next year, I mean, it's coming up quick. May's around the corner. I mean, we've got March Madness here for state championships, and we're going to go back to back. I have a good feeling for that for you guys. And when it comes down to, okay, the summer, this are like, I'm terrified for you, because I can't think of my last summer with my kid in my house. What the hell? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely hard.
But I think you and your wife, you guys instilled that with her. And then with Mia, you got to like, oh, we got another one coming up through the ranks. That to me is going to be world movers you guys have going on, and not just in sports. And so that's something that I commend you as an amazing father for that, big time. So
yeah, it's definitely scary. I mean, thinking your baby's moving out and on her own, and but there's stages to it. And, you'll get there soon. When they start hitting teenagers. When she started driving it, is when there's a little more separation. You know what I mean? Before she was driving, we were together
all the time.
I was always coaching, whatever. We still, every time she goes and eats with her friends, she calls me. We always go hang out.
Oh, like, cool.
Last night we won the district championship.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then after that, half the team went to Chili's, and we still hang out a lot. But there's different stages for sure. When she started driving was a stage where she's out a lot with her friends a little more, and so I think it kind of prepares you for the next step. When she's going to be gone, and said hopefully it's not too far where she could come back on the weekend.
Exactly. There's something about those chips and salsa at Chili's, man. That's like,
I know,
it's so good. And it's funny, like, everyone's like, let's go to Chili's. Like, you always forget about Chili's. Now, why are we going to these fancy places? We go to Chili's,
and they have everything.
They got everything. They got, you want steak, you want a burger, you want sizzling fajitas coming through. You want your margaritas, your drinks, your whatever, strawberry lemonade, and of course those unlimited chips are perfect. But you said it right. It gets to a point where, like Camden, he's going to be 12 this year, and he's already acting like he's 15 because he's, you know how that transition goes. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to start probably looking at, okay, what's his first car going to be? I'm going to buy him a little pickup, like a Ford Ranger, like early 90s, a brick that's slow, 4-wheel drive, a 4-speed, let him know 5-speed, that you're getting there, point A and point B. It's not fast. You're not going off-roading. It's just like, and you're kind of in a still box. So it's those thoughts, like, I got to make sure they're not, if they get a Hyundai Elantra, they're going to like beat the crap out, like, wee, like, I mean, I know how I was when I was a kid. And so, but it's those stages in life as we come in fatherhoods that we have. You probably look back when she was 18 months, when she first started playing little kickers, to now she's going to be sitting there with her teammates and her coaches, including yourself, looking at where they're going to be seated in the state tournament championship, to hopefully go back to back, which I think they will. And after they just won a district championship, and it's that correlation of everything in between. Isn't like, sure, she's skilled. Sure, she picked it up early. Sure, she had athletic parents that had to understand the mindset. It's deeper than that. You, your wife, with her, with your baby girl, we're going to be a part of it every step of the way. And that's the life lesson.
There's a lot of sacrifices in sport.
Big time.
And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of parents don't want to get into it, because it's so much time that you have to put into it, and especially at a elite level. When you're playing club, like I said, both my girls played club soccer and basketball. So we were year round, every day, had practice. And it's hard on the kids. Like, this year it was hard for Mia because she was going to school. She'd get out of school about 3, have practice at Sandia, either 4 to 6 or 5. It'd be 4 to 6 or 5 to 7.
Yeah.
And so every day.
Yeah.
then we'd have games, and when there's games till 9, so like then she'd have to find time to do her schoolwork in between then.
Yep.
So it's a grind, but like you said, it's worth it. You build that work ethic, and it helps you get prepared for the real world.
That was my next point, the work ethic.
Yeah.
It's same thing with our kids. We get out of school, we have a little free time, downtime. Soccer practice starts at 5:00, 5 to 6 for soccer because outdoor in the sun. When it's of course the sun, but from 6 to 8 is basketball. So it's like take off your cleats. We're going, and nice thing. We practice at Hoover's Field, and then we practice at Hoover's Gym. So it's like we're not driving across town, but I'm coaching soccer, coaching basketball, and it's a long day. And of course, as parents, we're working all day. We drop them off at school. We go to work. We do our thing. We come. We pick them. I pick them up from school. We hang out at the park with their little buddy. So then they're running around for an hour at the park. Then we go home, get a snack, kind of refresh, get all your sports stuff, go to soccer practice, go to basketball practice, come home, make dinner. If it was too late, we pick up dinner, get in the shower, get stuff, get asleep. They're asleep by 9. You're asleep by 10. You're exhausted. They're like, I got to do this all over again. So like you said, it's tough for parents, but you hit the nail on the head earlier when you said they see what we do.
Yeah.
If I'm complaining, oh man, we got another practice. Oh, we got this. Oh man, I can't. Man, I'm tired. Like you're lucky I'm taking you to places. Then they're not going to want to practice. Yeah. They're not going to want to be like, okay, if dad doesn't want to do this, then why should I be doing this? Like, I'll just quit, or I just like won't give a full effort. Yeah. We have to sacrifice. We have to dedicate ourselves, and not just like, oh, well, I work 9 to 5, or I work whatever to whatever. That's my work ethic. No, your work ethic to your kids, they don't see you at your job, is what you do with them. And sports, music, whatever, ballet, whatever it is. Be dedicated to it and be a part of it and be the biggest cheerleader. Be in the stands, not cursing out the refs or the other team or telling them how to play, but be there, be their bigger support. Because when you are that, they're going to take on that. I'm like, okay, everything from 18 months to now, 18 to 18. You think about that. It's like we did it and we sacrificed a lot, but hey, look where she's at right now.
Yep, for sure. One of the reasons I kind of started coaching at Sandy this year was I always thought, like, what am I going to do after they're gone?
Yeah.
Because I would dedicate so much time to their sports. I've always thought about that. And so talked to my wife about it. I think after they graduate, I'll probably get into high school coaching.
Yeah.
And then this year, both girls were at Sandy, and I'm sitting here and I'm at home and I'm like, why wait? They're both there.
They're both there now.
They're both there. So then that's kind of why I did it. But I mean, that just kind of tells you how much time. So I was just thinking, like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm home from work and don't have practice.
Exactly.
Don't have the game to go watch.
Exactly.
So it's.
How was that moment when she played, when Mia played in the high school game, hit the 3, and you're there coaching, and you have both your girls, or they're on the court at the same time, right?
At the same time.
Seeing that, like, was that like a moment of like this? We came, not even say the peak, but like a sit back. Everything's kind of maybe slow motion. I don't know, but I could see like my baby, my first baby, my second baby.
Yeah.
They're on the court together. We're in the same uniform. I'm here coaching. The pass, the 3, the excitement, the everything. It's like that. You watch a movie and everything's in slow motion. They got the music playing in the background. How was that moment for you?
So I mean, they just changed the rule last year where 8th graders can play. So growing up, we always thought they would never have the opportunity to play together. And then, so it was senior night. So it was already kind of an emotional night.
Yeah.
Audrey, it wasn't her last home game, but it was senior night. So I was celebrating her as a senior. And then the coach pulled Mia up so they could play together. And then she went in and she actually hit 2 threes.
2 threes, okay.
2 threes, yeah.
Did Audrey assist something? Yeah,
Audrey assist. So that's what kind of what I was getting to was. So she hit 1, and then there was another one that she hit, and it was an assist off Audrey.
I got chills, man. It's not even my girls. That's all.
It's just like, and just knowing Audrey, like she's a pass first player, always been, and so like it was a pretty equal moment to see it. The assist from Audrey to Mia hit the 3.
Yeah. I would have been a wreck. I would have been crying. I would have been like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and of course you're on the bench. You got to keep your composure and everything. But that to me, that if their basketball career ended today, like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
That's probably like, or we did all right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for joining. This was awesome. Good conversation. I mean, at the end of the day, the lessons are be involved. Put your kids in sports. Put them in some kind of activity that's outside the realm of the house or outside this that has someone else teaching them, besides like a teacher, showing them skills. And then once they like, hey, you know, I like the trombone or I like soccer, I like this. Pick it up too. Excuse me. I don't care if you again don't have an athletic or musical bone, anything in your body. Be a part of it because once they see that work ethic and your sacrifice through it, it's going to be tenfold of what they get out of it, and it's nothing better.
And I think like we're talking sports, obviously, but I think any extracurricular,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you said, in band, like whatever it is, like have your kids in extra stuff, like especially nowadays with social media and cell phones and watching Netflix on their iPad or whatever it is, like. It's not good for a kid to go home and sit there and watch TV the rest of the day. Like, even if it's band, it's dance, whatever it is, like, just get them involved.
Just get them involved and be involved while they're involved, too. So we always end with a dad joke. I'm not sure if you got one.
Let's see here. So, all right. What do you call a story about a tortilla?
What do you call it? I don't know. What do you call it?
A rap.
That's good. Yeah, that's pretty good. On the basketball theme, this one's pretty cheesy. What's a Pirate's favorite basketball move? A jump hook.
A jump. Okay. I was thinking something with the R.
Yeah. Jump hook. Well, that's the other thing. What's the Pirate's favorite letter?
R.
It's actually the C.
The C. Okay.
Hey, Joseph, thank you so very much for joining. This is awesome. I learned a lot. I mean, I'm proud of you, proud of your girls, rooting for them. So, everyone root for the Matadors. This state championship here. Keep it in Albuquerque, keep the trophy home, everything else like that. And again, hope to have you back on at some point, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hey, thank you guys for listening. We got a couple new exciting guests coming up. Of course, I'm very stoked with this episode here. And so, till next time. Peace.